Hey there. Hello. How's everyone? Come on in. Let's get started. We're going to be talking about reinventing ourselves for career changes that we're thinking about or in the middle of. It's happening right now. How many of you have ever wondered what's next in your career? Have you achieved, some great success, but feel a shift coming, a desire to reinvent yourself and your work in this season of your life, perhaps your next season? I know many successful women who are in midlife. Now, I'm talking to all you female professionals out there, but particularly to my sisters who are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, because I know that often you've been successful, but you're in midlife and you're feeling that pull perhaps to try something new. Yet perhaps you're holding yourself back because of doubts or fears or other things going on in your life. But I assure you, making a career change you'll be proud of is possible. Let me say hello to everyone who's coming in. Let me know where you're listening from, viewing from, seeing us from. Okay. So, in this session, I'm going to share strategies to help you find the work that aligns with your values, your interests, your strengths, and help you step fully into your potential in this next season of your life. I want to help you learn to leverage that wisdom and experience you've gained and put it into a new role if that's what you want. And doing all this is going to help you achieve a better work life balance with loads of flexibility. Now, I want to tell you good morning. Hello, everyone who's coming in from Michigan and Texas and Thailand. Oh, my goodness. How are you? Mid-career women, that's again, those of you in 40s, 50s, 60s, have some unique considerations when it comes to career advancement and transitions. So it's valuable for you to learn successful strategies. Okay. So, you as a midlife woman in your 40s, 50s, 60s have more workplace experience than younger folk. And learning how to effectively demonstrate your expertise can help in the kinds of things that you want to do in your promotions and your advancements. And you know what else? Because you have more experience, you have higher salary needs and demands. So, learning successful strategies like negotiation and how to present yourself, etc., will allow you to get that money that you know you're supposed to be getting. And when you learn strategies, successful strategies, they can help you overcome that gender and age bias and stereotypes that oftentimes older women may face. And we sometimes are viewed as less competent or less tech savvy. And for those of you who are re entering the workplace or changing careers, knowing successful strategies can help you pivot and transition much more smoothly. Okay. And when you're in midlife, you juggle a whole lot more family obligations, than when you was in your 20s or 30s, right? And so knowing the kinds of strategies that are successful that can help you with your career transitions and as you're thinking about adjusting your life can help you with determining your paths and your work balance, your work life balance with much more flexibility. And finally, I just think it's important for um, us in midlife, for women in midlife, to learn these strategies because they can open pathways and poise you for greater responsibilities because you're learning more about how to secure those management and executive positions. So, strategies empower you to progress and combat biases, invest in continued growth, maximize your career success, and all those kinds of good things as you're thinking about what's next. Now, I understand you may face objections from loved ones or financial considerations or maybe your own inner critic. But I want you to remember your potential is limitless if you allow yourself, give yourself permission to grow. How many of you out there are thinking about a change in careers? You know, maybe within the space that you already are, maybe an organization that you're in, and maybe looking for advancement or really thinking about switching careers. If you are, put in I am in the comments. Let me know how many of you are just maybe just even thinking about it, letting it roll through your head. Well, listen, for those of you who I have not yet had the pleasure of meeting, I'm Dr. Geneva, and I experienced major career advancement in my early 40s when I was picked to lead a multi-million dollar organization as its first female leader. I then left a well established organization I had been in for years to start a new national model never ever done before in the country. And then in my late 60s, I stepped out of that career that I had been in for 40 plus years and became a late life entrepreneur. So I know a thing or two or three about career transitions, and I've learned many lessons. And I want to share with you some of the strategies that I know work. And so I just want to remind you that one of the things as I learned, you have so much to offer. And so now is the time to bring your full self to the new and exciting challenges ahead if you dreaming it. If you having whispers in your head about, wow, I wish I could. Hey, you are ready. So are you ready to discover? Can we get into it? Hello. Oh, I see some I ams, I ams. Great. Thank you. So let's get going. Now, before I dive into specific strategies, I want to address one of the things that I discovered was the biggest um, dynamic in this career transition, looking for career advancement or what have you. And that is mindset, okay? Which is very crucial, particularly when making any kind of career changes in midlife, in your 40s or your 50s or your 60s. Now, you know that mindset is the lens through which we view challenges and opportunities, and it shapes our perspectives and beliefs. And when making a career change, mindset determines how we interpret and respond to this transition and really any transition. But we're talking about career transition in this video. Um, but why is it so important, that mindset? Because changing careers in midlife, in particular, can be filled with doubt, uncertainty, and fear. Okay. I know I experienced every single one of them. Have any of you experienced that fear or that being real unsure or doubting when you were looking at a career change or a promotion or going for something? Put yes in the comments. And so, because when we're making or thinking about, even thinking about it, that kind of career change, we get these emotions. And when we deal with our mindset, when we work on getting an empowering mindset, that gives us the courage and resilience to push past those obstacles that are going to be out there. So, for example, if you're thinking about a career change at 45 as just, I'm starting over, that can be really daunting and limit your potential. But reframing it as a new chapter with valuable experience often creates motivation and possibility. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not that, throwing everything out, starting over, boom. No, think about it as the next chapter in your book, okay? Not as starting over. Or sometimes you feel too old to learn new skills. You know what they say? You can't teach it. What is it? You can't teach an old dog new tricks. Is that what it is? Well, let me tell you, you can. That old dog. Now think about it. When you really think about it, a dog, an old dog, any dog can learn new stuff. We can learn new stuff, but thinking that can hold you back. But if you embrace a beginner's mindset, a mindset like a child with curiosity and humility, regardless of age, that can allow for growth. Again, your mindset. And then sometimes, particularly when you're in your mid career and you've had all this experience, you may see yourself as too overqualified or too expensive. Say, well, I can't go anywhere. They can't afford me. Okay. And thinking that way can feel limiting. But recognizing that your maturity and experience make you uniquely valuable to organizations can flip this narrative. Do you understand what I'm saying? So walking in saying, well, I got this experience and, I'm going to be paid what I'm worth, as opposed to putting up that limiting barrier that nobody can afford me. And believing that your skills aren't transferable also traps you in your current field. You know what I'm saying? But having confidence that the things you've learned about communication and management and critical thinking and other um, abilities opens wide possibilities. So I needed to spend a little bit of time with you talking about this mindset because I want you to shift your mindset as you're moving into thinking about contemplating these career transitions, changes, advancement, because oftentimes how you perceive it is how you're going to act and how you're going to believe. And when you embrace an empowering mindset, you'll be ready to make any transition with confidence. Trust me. Okay. So, now what I'd like to do. Oh, I see yeses in here. Oh, you're talking to me. Oh, wow. Um, Yes, I'm so glad that that's happening. And I see these yeses, and I'm saying hello to everyone who's joining us. Oh, how is everybody? So this is a topic that folk feel is important. Good, good. I'm glad. So let me jump into some strategies that I want you to consider. I invite you to think about, reflect on as you're contemplating, thinking about, maybe in the midst of a career transition, change, advancement. And so, the first strategy that I think is so important is that you tap into your core motivations. And this means to identify what truly gives you passion and fuel for your career reinvention. Connecting with those values and talents and passions, really, when you do that, it can propel you through your uncertainty and fear because you're doing what you believe in, what you feel your purpose is. And this is key because it also ensures that whatever career change you're thinking about aligns with who you are at your core, not just your surface desires, but really this intrinsic motivation and down deep in your core, in your gut. And this is going to help you during those difficult times of transition. I remember I worked with a client who realized that after 25 years working in the legal field, very successful attorney, that she was unfulfilled. And so we really dove deep into, well, what is it you want to do? What are your values? We really spent some time looking at purpose and diving deep. And she discovered that really what she wanted to be about was helping others. She wanted to be able to use her creativity, and she wanted to get more into community building. That led her to retrain as in the social sciences as a social worker and go into nonprofits. And when she did, she went, of course, she was older, but she was able to work through a lot of that ageism because she felt she was there because it was her calling. And so it's important for you to really take time to explore and to dive into and figure out what your passion, purpose, and values are so that you could be assured that whatever it is you're doing aligns with what it is that you feel real good and dedicated to. Because as you go through these transitions, stuff will pop up, and this will help you stay in the place, in the position that you want to be in. And this really helps you in your journey. So, the second strategy that I'd like you to think about and really consider is to adopt a beginner's mindset. Now, who knows what a beginner's mindset? Put in the comments, I do. If someone can tell me that they do know what this beginner's mindset is, let me know in the comments. You probably hear about it often, and perhaps well, what is this? Let me just say that I think possessing a beginner's mindset is very critical for career reinvention. And it's like seeing the world through a child's eye. Everything is fresh and new and full of possibility. You know how children are when they look at the world and when they do things, it's like a sense of wonder. They ain't got no preconceived notions, and they just soak up information like a sponge. I had my grandchildren over the other day, four of them. Three are under the age of three. And so, they was all over the place. But watching them is just such a delight. And we all delight when we watch young children, infants, those that have, they don't have all those doubts and fears, and they haven't, they're just open, and every experience is something new. And it's the discovery and the awe and the enthusiasm to try new things and to get into everything. You know what I'm saying? But they're uncovering how the world works. Well, what I want you to do is to bring that enthusiasm, that open eyes, that beginner's mindset to try things. Bring this attitude to your career reinvention. Um, reclaim this childlike curiosity and approach these unfamiliar situations without judgment or, you know, uh, uh, assumptions. Give yourself permission to be a novice again, to start over again. I remember when I moved into my leadership position at United Way as the first female of this major organization. But I had been in the organization for a number of years and knew it. But what I decided to do was take the first 3 months and act like I didn't know anything and go and talk to all of the staff, the volunteers, the donors, stakeholders in the community, asking them, what did they think of the organization? What would they like to see? What should we be working on? What were the key priorities? And, this approach really was one that was fun. It was fun, but I just couldn't believe the information that I got and the things that I learned. And I was a veteran of the organization. But this thing about opening up yourself and adapting and learning and being there always ready to soak in the new information and stuff and being open to what people have to say and feedback was exhilarating and really helped form what I did next in that position. And I was very successful in that position. And I owe much of it to starting out with this beginner mindset child, like didn't know nothing and wanted to start everything new. So that's a strategy that I invite you to try. Let go of your expectations and approach any career transition, change, or advancement with an openness to learn and let your child's mindset pave the way for exciting growth. The next strategy that I'd like to invite you to think about, and this is another one of my favorites. See, I'm giving you my favorites, the kinds of things that they're my favorites because they work. I've used them. I've used them many a times successfully, and I help my clients use them, and they've been successful. So this is a list of my favorites. Lots of them I got now, but this is kind of a special list. But this next skill of uh, identifying your skills, and it is a skill to be able to do that, to be able to figure out what you've got going on now and how that can be transferred to whatever new thing you're thinking about doing. And it is so important for those of you, my sisters and allies who are with us, that you think about what it is, what has happened in your career because you got stuff, because of where you are in your midlife. What skills can you transfer? Communication, strategic thinking, um, management. These skills transcend across various roles and industries. So, inventorying your strengths and your skills, and then emphasizing them through your career transition process. If you're going on a job search, don't be looking at stuff and saying, oh, I don't have those qualifications or I can't do it. Most likely you can. So jump up in and say, I can do this. because I'm going to pull on what I've got. Okay. And, that's the thing. One of the things we as women feel that we got to have every I dotted and T crossed when we're looking at a job description or thinking about a new place to go. Mm-mm. No, rely on these phenomenal transferable skills that you got, the strengths that you have at the workplace and at home. Pull them together and go for that thing if it sparks your interest. Don't sit back saying, well, I can't do or I don't have. Because you do have it. And identifying transferable skills are going to allow you to show your value. And you're going to gain new technical knowledge as you go and abilities as you go into new spaces. And that's okay. Though those are the technology and the techniques, the specifics of a job. But what you bring, all that experience in management, communication, solving difficult problems, planning, working with others, etc. That's value, okay? And that wisdom and experience. And those things will make you an adaptable and highly marketable candidate. Now, the fourth strategy I'd like you to think about as you're working to reinvent your career, uh, go for that new job, or step out of one industry into another, is to build your connections. Always a part of the process. Building connections is so key to moving through a new field or a new opportunity. And it helps the career transition be really seamless. So, doing interviews, talking to people, joining associations of jobs or things or a field that you want to get into. There's no reason why you can't join an association aligned with that as you prepare for it. Volunteering. If you have, you say, oh, I want to step into the nonprofit world. I've been in the corporate world for many years, and, I really want to go into nonprofit. Volunteer at a nonprofit organization, get to learn the culture and what happens and the language and the lingo, because in every field, in every industry, there's differences in culture and lingo and language and how people behave, etc. Volunteering in the area or at an organization that represents the area that you're interested in is magnificent. It's a magnificent, trust me, technique. And you can also, when you're volunteering, it also shows on the other side because you're demonstrating the skills that you have while you're gaining experience in that volunteer opportunity. So I want you to think about building your connections in a little slightly different way when you're in your midlife making career transitions, okay? Because this isn't just about building the connections, but really trying to gain experience from talking to and perhaps working with or volunteering with others who are in that field that you might want to move to. And again, I want you to remember to, as you build your connections, to also um, look for and get that support that is there and is out there, particularly with your current connections. I'm always talking about networking sideways, meaning you have connections, peers, friends, colleagues working with you right here, right now. Okay. They're working with you and they know you, and to talk with them, share with them what your thinking is, how you're um, thinking about moving ahead, the careers you're thinking about, etc. You know what I'm talking about. I see plenty of comments here, and folk know what that means to have those allies and who are already with you, who so you can network sideways with existing partners and colleagues. And then you know them and they already have support built in for you. So pulling on them, building on that can help you as you move forward in your career transition, advancement, or change. And then I saved this strategy um, last because I want, and they tell you as you're doing these videos and as you're doing these lives that you don't say things like last because people will hear it and they say, oh, it's over, let me go. Well, don't go anywhere yet. I still got stuff to say. So stay right here. We got more to learn. And then I want to hear from you too about what comments or questions you might have. And then I also want to tell you about what's coming next. So don't go anywhere. But if you are here and you're getting value, please like, subscribe, follow. You know what to do, those things to do if it is, in fact, bringing you value. More importantly, if you know a friend or someone who could benefit from joining us in these conversations, I would love to have you invite them. Um, the strategy that I want to invite you to consider now as you're going through your career change, as you're going through um, advancement in your career, is to embrace periods of uncertainty. Because let me tell you, the bottom line is navigating uncertainty is inevitable. It's going to happen when you're changing careers. And so I think it's important to learn to flexibly flow between the periods of effort and ease into your mindset. And this helps build your resilience to get through it. Now, what am I talking about? So, in any change that you're going through where there is that uncertainty, there are periods of effort and hard work that you are going to be required to do to learn new skills, perhaps as you're searching for the job, or you're rewriting your resume, or you're talking to folk, and pushing through these doubts during this difficult period will really teach you some things and will strengthen your perseverance. So it's important to put in the effort, put in the hard work. Yes, yes, yes. It's equally important to embrace periods of ease and calm when needed. And so when uncertainty strikes, you might want to shift your focus to what you can control right now, because oftentimes that brings relief. So, this flow between recognizing when you need to do your hard work and your effort and when you need to take it easy and be calm. Because when that uncertainty jump up, it's going to cause all kinds of emotion. And to keep pushing, 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 pushing sometimes might not work best for you. So I want you to know how to bring into your ease and calm so that you can do this flow between that hard work and effort and focus and being out there and doing, and bring in the ease and the calm. And understand that it's not about resisting the uncertainty, because it will be there, but it's how you react to it, because you don't want uncertainty to overwhelm you. Okay. You want to have uncertainty, let it walk by your side, maybe a few steps back, because it's going to be there, but let it walk, walk there, acknowledge it, say, okay, I know I'm feeling scared and I'm feeling down and I ain't sure about what I'm doing. Okay. But, and you over there, but, I'm going to refocus my energy to what's ahead of me. Okay. So, like, if you're not comfortable with networking, let's say you feel you're an introvert and you don't like to go to networking, but you know that you need to get out there and do some for a career change, maybe you could um, redirect your focus to preparing for and if you're preparing for a networking event, those things are under your control, like maybe you rehearse your pitch, or you'll do some research on the people that you think that you'll meet, or perhaps you'll spend some time updating your resume or your online profile. You see what I'm saying? So that you'll devote and focus your energy on those things that you can control, and to calm yourself, to help focus and calm yourself. Because oftentimes, feeling prepared can calm your nerves and make the outreach or the networking feel less intimidating. Okay. Or if you're waiting, you went to that fabulous job interview and you're awaiting the results, and you know how it is, that uncertainty, that overwhelm, it causes anxiety as you waiting for what's happening. Okay. um Direct your energy into maybe some quality time with your family, or playing with your grandkids, or praying and being quiet and meditating. So the point here is to learn how to flow between your effort and ease, and help doing this to help you make more adapt yourself more adaptable to stress and the anxiety and the uncertainty that we know is going to come out there. What you want to do is not let uncertainty paralyze you. You want to be able to manage it. If it's there over there on the side, say, I got you in check. I know you're going to be here walking a few steps behind me, but you's in check. I know how to manage you without letting you paralyze me. And as you do it more and more, this builds the resistance needed to reinvent yourself. And I know y'all out there, you understand what I'm talking about. You can do it. I'm just, because we've all been through what? Pandemic. And we've all of us have that in common. Every single one of us has experienced full force with something that we cannot control. And we had to reinvent, we had to pivot, we had to do things differently. Okay. All I'm suggesting is some of those things that you learned through pandemic in terms of embracing uncertainty, they've made you stronger. They've built up your resistance. I'm inviting you to apply this now to your career change, advancement, or transition as you're reinventing yourself. And in fact, you can, uh, not let that uncertainty overtake you, that in fact you can embrace it. Okay. That's right. Embrace that um, that uncertainty. So those are the strategies that I wanted to share with you, that I invite you to try. Many of you have probably used some of these. That's fabulous. Let me know in the comments if you have. Perhaps you have some of your own strategies you want to share. I see we are popping in the comments. I'm getting over there. I'm coming over there in just a moment. But I want to tell you something. Remember, I said I have something for you. So, so today we did cover some mindset stuff, some strategies to help you successfully change careers, advance in your careers in midlife. And when you're in your 40s, your 50s, and your 60s, you can do this. You can transition with passion and purpose by tapping into your core motivations, by adopting a beginner's mindset and building connections in your field. And you've got so much wisdom and experience to offer. Now is the time, to bring your full set and self to the new challenges and opportunities as you map out the next chapter of your career. And this whole conversation about how do we reinvent ourselves to do the things we've dreamed about. One thing about midlife, oftentimes, since we've lived a half a century, particularly for those out there, how many of you have lived that half a century? I have. When you get to that 50 mark, that's why it's such a milestone, because you've lived half a century. And, with all the medical advances nowadays, you might even live 50 years more. So that's why it's important to have these kinds of conversations. And if you're interested in making any kind of shifts in your life, those things, oh, I always wanted to be, oh, I could see myself doing this or that. For me, I always wanted to run my own business. I didn't know I'd be in my late 60s when I stepped into that sucker, but that's when it was. And it was scary and it was exhilarating. And I failed and I was successful. And, I have a six-figure business now. I'm all over the country talking to different people and helping, and you can do it. We can do it. We can have our dreams. We can have anything we want to. We are never too late. It's never too late to start something. You're never too old to start something or build a life around those things that you're passionate about. And because I so much want to not only spread that word and communicate that message, but offer real deal strategies to help you do that, I've put together this um, 6-part series on Reinvent Yourself that will stream live and free every week for the next 6 weeks, starting today, and we'll cover different subjects. Next up is reinventing yourself by planning your next chapter. So this is for particularly for those of you who say that, it's too late. I'm too old. Oh, please forget that. Let me tell you, it's never too late to reinvent yourself and start a new chapter. And so many people, including moi, have started things late in life. And so I'm going to give you the techniques, the secrets, the strategies to how you can plan your next chapter. And that next chapter can be whatever you want it to be. And so, you know, we want to identify those things that, give us purpose and passion, and think about our health and relationships and personal growth and leaving legacy and all these things we have that we want to do and we can do. So, whether it's a career shift, a strengthened mindset, or a new style, these series of conversations over the next 6 weeks that I'm having with you will help guide you to plan your reinvention on your own terms. Okay. So, listen, I am just so delighted that so many have joined from Texas and from Southfield and from Thailand and from West Bloomfield and Pickaninny, Michigan and Denver. Oh my goodness. And I just want to say good morning to all of you. I'm so glad you joined. And I'm looking to see if there's comments or uh, a number of you are talking about, as I said, you're going through this now. And hello to you all. Good. I'm glad you're going through this. I hope this was helpful. Were these strategies helpful? And there's more to come. Like I said, we're going to do a whole series on reinventing yourself. And thank you and good morning, Dr. Trinette, who always is here, always has such great comments. And yes, I do believe that as you're thinking about your what's next, you are not throwing out nothing. It's just the next chapter because you want to build on the things that you have because that's what's valuable these days. Your experience, your wisdom, those are the things that are valuable. And yes, let's walk in demand and expect that experience and that expertise to speak. Dr. Geneva speaks. Hey, 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 that's that expertise. So many of you talk about being open to new experiences, and I think that's, so important. And good morning, Bernadette. How are you? Good to see you. Always such great comments. And yes, faith is so important. And God can, or whatever you believe in, that higher spirit can open those windows and bring you into the places that you need to be and connect those dots. Thank you so much. And who is it who made the transition? Nilda, you made the transition from corporate to nonprofit. Oh, I'd love to hear how that went for you um, several years ago. You doing good with it? How's it going for you? I just would love to hear that. Drop me a note. Let me know. Let's continue the conversation. I would love to hear your experience and lessons learned. And of course, as you say, I'm sure as you were making that transition, that prayer helped, as it always does. Prayer helps all the time. Um, yes, and see the opportunities and can rise from your network. Appreciate um, if you're thinking about making those changes. I'm hoping and I'm glad that this conversation has been a great one for you. Thank you. Thank you. We've enjoyed being here with you. And again, is that my friend Lisa Whitmore Davis? Yes, it is. How you doing, Lisa? Oh my goodness. Lisa and I did incredible work together with AARP. And of course, she's done many, many things in our community. But good to see you, Lisa. Your leadership always shines no matter where you are, what you're doing. I'm so glad to connect with you. Thank you. And we had so many people who said yes, that they were going through a career change. That's terrific. Okay. So let's hear from Tina. Totally recalibrated my life when I was already past 50. Go ahead, girl. Embracing a new identity. You're right, identity, because that identity, Tina, that's who we say we are. And so you have to think about if you're going to make these changes, that new identity. And we'll have to integrate the element or it doesn't stick, still add it. Oh, and you love my glasses. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I got to wear them so I can see. I can't tell you how many times I would love to, just take them off, but then I can't see. But thank you. Appreciate that. Yes, we take the leap of faith. And how are you there, Gupta? All right. Good to see you. No, it's been a journey. I do want to hear. about your journey, Ms. Thomas. I'm sure it has been. And yeah, an open forum meet and greet. That could be, I've been asked to do that a number of times. Maybe we'll do that, get that going on. Yes, mwah, Lisa. So good. So good to see you. Thank you. Back to you. Hey, oh, 20 pairs of glasses. Well, let me tell you, I have just thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. Please join next week. If you found value, please like, subscribe, follow, tell others. And if you ever need help or assistance, you know, get on a strategy call with me and we can just talk through the possibilities and strategize together. That's something I'd be loving to do. Just strategize and strategize successfully. Of course, you could go to nextlevelsuccess.com and book a call or just be a part of the community where we share information and just have a good old time. So please join and hope to see you again real soon. And yes, having fun. Yes, yes, yes. Please come on over, Annette. Just go to next, elevate, nextlevelsuccess.com. Let's strategize together. Mwah. Love you all. See you next Wednesday, 9 o'clock. YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, on all those platforms. Tell your friends. See you.